Okay, here we go. Alright, so I'm Andrew Weigel, and I am here to write an NES emulator in less than 2 weeks per challenge from a rando on the internet. I'm going to do it in Rust, which is my current programming language of choice. As you can see, if you are familiar with Rust, this is just a brand new Rust project. And yeah, let's get started. Hi, Dana. So, the best source that I'm aware of for NES reference stuff is the NES Dev Wiki. So we'll be using that for a lot of our, what's going on stuff. But to get started, we're just gonna try and get up a window that can display graphics and whatnot. And to do that, we're gonna use MGUI. We're gonna use this hardware accelerated pixel frame buffer from Parasite. And we're going to use also WGPU RS, which is binding to WGPU, which is sort of the new hotness in the Rust graphics space. Basically because they changed away from, I don't really know what's going on there, honestly, but whatever. We're just going to go ahead and clone a couple of these, run some examples, and then cobble together a window that actually renders that has both the frame buffer and the MGUI parts to it. Feel free to ask any questions or chat with me, because otherwise I'll just be narrating what I'm doing for the whole time, and that's not going to be super interesting for anybody. So I've played with this a little bit before, which is why I know kind of what the invocations are here. Oh, Pixels doesn't have a feature. So this is just building the frame buffer library. I'm not going to run it from Git. I am going to run it from Git, but not from a local checkout. I just want to make sure that it builds and runs and everything, because you never know with graphics. So the origin of this challenge was on the EmuDev Discord, which has a lot of very smart people who make emulators and know a lot about what they're doing, and there's sort of an ongoing theme of challenges. One of them is to make a Game Boy emulator that can run Pokemon Blue in a week, and this version is to make an NES emulator that can run Super Mario Bros. 3 in 2 weeks. So that's our target. Starting to feel like maybe I should play music or something in the background. Hopefully once we're up and running, things will be a little more interesting. All right, so this is the frame buffer example program. It's a little simple version of Space Invaders. You can't shoot through the shields, which takes away half the fun. And when you do get shot, come on, shoot me. Shoot me. It just freezes. But it's a good example of the sort of format. And then the other one that we have is from here. Hello world, features Vulkan. And so this is the MGUI, immediate GUI example also, running on the WGPU backend, WebGPU. The idea of WebGPU, as I understand it, is to sort of be a slightly higher level wrapper around the native graphics APIs. GFX HAL, which is another Rust project run by mostly the same team as far as I can tell, is a very low-level wrapper around those APIs, and it basically presents a Vulkan-like interface. Oh, hi, Cuttlefish. Thanks for stopping by. Is there a pizza bet involved? We didn't actually set any stakes for whatever reason. I will happily buy Saya pizza if I don't finish this in time, and if I do, they don't necessarily have to do anything. Okay, so it looks like this runs just fine as well. GUI demo, etc., etc. All good. For So let's steal some stuff, shall we? What am I looking for? So in the pixels example, hopefully. Oh no, that's not right either. It's the EMUERS example that I want, probably. Whoops. All right, let's just clone the base repo. Won't bother building this, but you know, I've been using Git for more than a decade, or about a decade, and I still always type checkout instead of clone. Okay. Examples. Support. That's what I wanted. Why am I using Cygwin instead of MSys2? Because I don't like MSys2. I've never been, well, I mean, I've gotten MSys2 set up a few times, but it just like, it doesn't seem to do what I want ever. Hello. WSL, again, like, I've used it, but it's incredibly slow, especially when you're dealing with Rust, because Rust expects file operations to be cheap, and on Windows, they're demonstrably not cheap. Maybe in WSL2, I will have that, but, well, if I'm going to do WSL2, I might as well just run whatchamacallit, a virtual machine. Good Steam. Oh yeah, I had to slow down. Yeah, see, exactly. It's very bad at file operations. This is just like a Windows thing. It's one of the main differences, I would say. Alright, so let's just crack all of these things open and cobble together something that works. And also we'll need cargo toml, because we need winit. Oh, and I can't do that because I know it needs to be like alpha 20 or whatever. I don't remember how that's spelled. Oh, it's not 20, it's alpha 3. I wonder if anyone would watch me write my overlay editor or Palm Emu. I mean, probably. I would watch it if I didn't have anything better to do, which is frequently the case. Okay, so step one. What if we had a window? What? Oh, I made a directory. That was dumb. Okay. Window. What made you choose Rust over C, C++? I just like Rust, honestly. Let me pop up another terminal here. Rust, I think, I really like low-level stuff and embedded. Originally, this is why I got into Rust, is that I was writing a lot of MSP430 code, and I really like that architecture, but the only compiler I had for it was basically GCC, and I was writing a lot of C, and I was very annoyed to be writing a lot of C because there were all sorts of like state invariants that I needed to uphold that turned out to be extremely difficult to uphold in C. So I started learning Rust, and I was like, oh, hey, this is really cool, actually. I can uphold all these state invariants. But it didn't run on the MSP430 backend. There was no MSP430 backend for Rust, so I cracked open LLVM, polished off the old MSP430 backend for LLVM a little bit so that it complied with modern ABIs and things, and got it working in LLVM, and then that enabled it to work in Rust. So there you go. And then from then on, I've just kind of enjoyed playing with Rust and learning more about how Rust works and all like that. I'm missing raw window handle. I had this problem before. I can't remember why. Oh, I remember why now. Okay, so the problem is that this needs to be equal because Winit is doing weird stuff. So now it should build more, at least. No? Okay, what the hell? So I'm just missing a dependency here, is basically what's going on. That's why it won't build. And again, stealing a lot because I don't really want to spend all day on getting a window running. But somehow I always seem to spend all day on getting a window running. I swear I did this like 2 days ago. Oh, here we go. Okay. This is what I copied 2 days ago. That's why it's not working very well. Yep, that's what I thought. Const size, const screen width size. 640 by 480 seems good, at least for now. And here you go. Error not found. Oh, because Pixels has an error type. All right, let's just not. Return anything. No, no. We can do all those things later. Nope. Okay, and then we're gonna want to use Pixel stuff now so that it will actually render. There we go. Let's grab the URL. Oop. Thanks everyone for stopping by. I appreciate it. I think there are too many people watching for it to just be people I directly told to come watch. So for those of you who have just stopped by because it sounded interesting, welcome. I don't have any of the fancy stream stuff, so I can't tell you, oh, do exclamation point challenge, and it'll explain what's going on. So if you have any questions, just let me know. I'll be happy to repeat the spiel or whatever else needs to be done. we go. Something displayed. It didn't run, but it displayed. So now I need to run the event loop. What does your mug say? It says, "Don't talk to me before I've had my podcast." It's from the McElroy Brothers line of generic podcast merchandise. I got it for Christmas or my birthday. Okay, so if we get a window event, we'll handle it. And if we get a close event, we will exit. And that's all we're going to do. Underscore does nothing. Underscore does nothing. Is that good enough? I think it is. Oh, and then we need to redraw the screen. Okay, so let's do that. Well, not yet. We'll do that later. Get it running first. Unclose the limiter. Oh, yeah, because I always forget that that's passing a closure. There we go. Hey, look at me. I got a screen. This is my frame buffer, I guess. So something displayed. That's progress. Now we need to do all of this junk and actually set up the surface in the GPU, which we're actually doing, so that's good. And then the surface texture is going to be this with height as 32. Okay, and there's my question mark, which is why I had the other signature in the first place. So in Rust, the error handling is based on a result type instead of exceptions. And the result type can be returned from main, and that basically just encapsulates the error code. Okay. And right, so it just encapsulates the error code. And you can use this operator, which is the question mark, to sort of ergonomically return things from functions that return an error. I didn't know you streamed. I have not streamed in literally 2 years. I was streaming at one point because I was learning JavaScript, and I wanted to... I was learning JavaScript, and I wanted to stream that because I had nothing better to do, and then I got a job, and then I had a job, and so I didn't have time to stream. But I've got my life a little more in order now, and I'm trying to get back into it because I think it is a lot of fun. And at least some people liked it enough to follow me and then show up when I did a 10-second or 10-minute stream settings test last night. So I guess at least some folks got something out of it. Apparently I've lost the skill of being able to type and talk at the same time, though. So we need something to be able to render, and we're going to just go ahead and do, there's a, what's the vector method for this? Rust has enough of a standard library that I can't fit it all in my head. Oh, I should probably just do resize with. It's easier. So what I'm looking at here is to redraw, I have to do this invaders.draw thing. And invaders comes from the simple invaders example under pixels. And if we take a look at what it is real quick, world, when you go to draw, it just returns a slice of U8s. And oops, at the bottom of the draw method, it just returns self.screen, which is shown right here to just be a vec U8. And if we take a look at how big it is, it becomes just this big. Okay, so let's just call this screen instead. Won't use with capacity because what's the point? And then we'll just render the borrowed screen. And that should hopefully give me something that looks a little bit more like what I'm expecting. And yet, no, it does not. Huh, interesting. What am I doing wrong? Oh, scale is still at 3.0 for one. There we go. Okay, so this is a black screen because the default for a U8 is 0. And now, if we give it something else to do, let's say AA. Oh, gosh. I write C# for my day job, and that's a C# lambda, not a Rust lambda. There we go. Okay, now we have a nice little gray window, which is apparently what these U8s are all about. That sort of makes sense. We're probably just only going to get shades of gray because these are U8s and they're all being set to the same value. And I'm assuming they're being interpreted, since this is a ×4, as a 32-bit color value. So it kind of makes sense that if we just fill it with all the same number, we would get gray. So let's try to make a different color. All right. Screen width. Screen height. Screen I times J transparent gray. I guess I could do that, but it would make the whole window transparent, I think. Boy, it's been a long time since I had to do this math manually. It really doesn't seem like it should be that hard, and it's not. It's I times screen width plus J. All right, and then plus 0, we're gonna do FF. Oh, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Alpha channel is also gray, which, yeah. Yep. So this will let us find out what color format it's expecting, or maybe it won't. What the hell? I did this wrong. It's clearly in some other order, or I screwed up the math. Interesting. Well, let's see if I can get white by just making these all Fs. I mean, I'm sure this is documented and I could just like look at the code, but no, interesting. J times screen width plus X. Yeah, I was thinking that too. Plus I, yeah. I don't know why I wrote an X, because you said X and I just read it directly off, which was dumb. Do. Oh, I minimized everything. Oops. Stupid Windows shake thing. Okay, that's a little better. Let's, I guess it doesn't help, does it? Do-do-do. Do-do-do. J times screen width plus I is obviously how it should be done. So why is it wrong? Am I looping over the wrong things? Probably. Maybe? I don't know. So if I'm going through screen width, and then for every J I need to add a whole screen height, a screen width, which is a screen height. Yeah, this seems like this should be working. Why width times height and not height times width, though? I don't know. I swear to God I can do this stuff normally. Just trying to move too fast because it's not interesting. That didn't help. It looks like it's offset somehow almost, but that doesn't make any sense because that's not how that works. J times screen width times 4. Yes, of course I do. You're absolutely correct. Do I have a roadmap and schedule a plan? So I can talk a little bit about like what I want to do. As soon as I get this working. Okay, I'm actually going to think about this for a second. So we have screen width. You go across screen width. But when we go across it, we need to multiply it by 4. Because that's the one that needs to be times 4. Is I, because it's the one that's the inner loop. And the outer loop needs to be just the height, and that should work it. What's my favorite console? Either Super Nintendo or N64. Super Nintendo was like my classic as a kid console. N64 I like a lot, and also the emulation scene is not good in my opinion. So that's why it was what I was planning to work on. What dumb thing am I doing here? 4 times J times screen width. I tried that, it didn't work. Also, I really need to just stop like just trying shit because someone in chat said it, because I need to like think ahead and actually figure out what I want. Alright. Okay, so we're going screen height in J, we're going screen width in I. But every pixel is 4 bytes. So what we want to do is, we're walking I, so we need to walk I by 4, right? And we'll walk across it by 4, and then we'll add screen width times 4. So I guess we needed both of them as multiplied. I really don't think that I and J versus X and Y is a problem, but I can change that, I guess. There we go. All I had to do was think for a minute. And now, let's change some of the colors. Okay, so my basic plan is I'm going to get a screen going that has a frame buffer, which is what I'm doing right now, and some in-GUI windows for like debug output and stuff. Okay, R. And then I'm going to parse the NES header, which should be very easy. It's like 16 bytes. Green. And then, so it looks like it's just RGBA, but finish checking. Right, so parse the NES header so I can actually load a ROM file. And then the next thing is to start with the CPU And there's some instruction test ROMs from Blarg, which I will try to run and just kind of go through one at a time. Interesting. I didn't expect that to be black. Yeah, so I'll go through Blarg's instruction test ROMs one at a time, and then just kind of implement instructions as I go. My idea for implementing the CPU... Okay, well, whatever. Just leave it at 0 anyway. My idea for implementing the CPU is basically based on a queue, which I think is interesting. Oh, I'm an idiot. I left all the other colors. Okay, yeah. Obviously, alpha channel is going to be black if you set everything else to black. Alpha doesn't really seem to do much, though. But I guess there's nothing behind it, so whatever. Alright, so that's my pixel buffer. Hooray. Let's leave it blue so that I can see where it is. And now we want to add in some of the GUI stuff. So, which directory is this one from? GFX renderer. Okay, so this is the WGPU version. So we did this already, which is good, which means we need all this junk, basically. Yeah, let's just grab all of this. Really should be working on my own channels instead of watching someone else's. Yeah, probably. Isn't that the way? Oops. Should be writing my overlay editor, but I'm lazy. What is that overlay editor that you're talking about? I have not heard of this before, I don't think. Huh. You're on ScanLime's PeerTube instance? That's cool. Touchscreen overlays for RetroArch. Okay, cool. Yeah, how is PeerTube? I've never used it. It doesn't seem appealing to me really at all, but I see QT uwu. Oh no, I cleaned the whole thing. That was stupid. PeerTube just seems to me like a place for terrible people to hide, mostly. That's kind of how I feel about the whole federated, decentralized stuff in general, is that, okay, great, but also moderation is a thing that's important. But that's probably a pretty ignorant position. I don't actually know very much about it. YouTube doesn't upload right with my ad blocker. Ah, okay. Chugga chugga choo choo, come on. You can tell I'm basically uninterested in this googly stuff. The GUI stuff, rather. Most federated services I've seen have been well moderated. That's good. Like I said, I've never really done anything with it, so it's probably fine. Ah, okay, so I do need that. Got the name wrong. It's kebab case, not snake case. Being able to choose who you want to federate with. Yeah, I guess I get that that's the whole idea. Instant is instant. Oh, okay, I don't care about that. Cannot find value size, which makes sense. Instance. Still not sure how they want to fix that with IPFS. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so that's what that is the WGPU instance. Which, Pixel may be hiding from me? Let's take a look here. Okay, so there is a device, and I can get at it. Maybe. Right, that's what I'm looking for. Instance. Or maybe I just don't know what I'm doing at all. That's true. I'm not really sure what like the goal of IPFS is, honestly. Other than to host illegal content, which I guess is not an unreasonable goal. Expected WGPU surface found another struct WGPU surface. Interesting. Surprisingly large amount of legal content on IPFS. Wikipedia mirrors, archival, etc. Piracy that can't be taken down is an admirable goal. All I've seen on IPFS is a copy of Wikipedia. WinWorld PC. Interesting. Okay, so let's take a look here. We are doing Pixel Surface Create, and that is presumably creating a bunch of other stuff to create. So Surface, which is going to be in here somewhere. Huh, is that just exporting? Oh, pub use WGPU. Oh, okay, well, whatever then. That's easy. So that's the surface. Apparently there's no instance. So let's pull up the WGPU docs then. To the extent that there are any, which who knows. Examples. Source. Lib. Okay, I think I can cobble this together now. Surface create. Oh, hi bud. This is my cat. One of my cats. He's very cute. He wants to sit on my lap. Let's see if I can nudge this down a little bit so you can see him a little better. He's a good kitty. Hey, buddy. Okay, so the way this is working is you're creating a surface first, I guess. And then here's the adapter stuff. So I don't think I actually need that instance call. Birdie kitty. Hi, Jeff. Can you hear him purring? It's very loud and right next to my microphone. So how are you? You're just calling WGPU adapter request, I guess. He's a good boy. Okay, we can get rid of you and you, and hopefully. Expected struct winit window, found struct winit window. Okay. Do you have a different winit version? Yes, you totally do have a different winit version, don't you? Friendo. WView. Oh, no, I guess not. Platform attach window. Oh, that would be an MVRS, I guess. Why are you expecting the wrong thing? Also, you're not seeing what I expect you to see. Boop. Expected. Found a different struct. They're the same struct. I think I need to just unimport WGPU because I think that's screwing me up. So if I don't import WGPU anywhere. should drop WGPU from my cargo, and that way I won't end up with 2 instances of it, hopefully. Okay. Missing field backends. Okay. Fix that in a second here. Question mark couldn't convert 2 pixels error. Oh, okay, that makes sense. It's this one. Unwrap it, whatever. If I can't get an adapter, I got bigger problems. No method name create swap chain. Found for type device and queue. Okay, so we gotta split that up for some reason. So what's the dev plan for today? I'm going to try to get a window working, which has a frame buffer and some immediate mode GUI stuff. That's what I'm working on right now. Then there are a bunch of. Then I'm going to have to parse the NES header file, which is straightforward. And then I will be in a position where I can start trying to run test ROMs. I'm going to start with the CPU basically, and then depending on how far I get into that, the next thing would be the PPU stuff, I guess. Depends. I'll basically just go through and get the CPU working, and then the next thing is to just start trying to run simple games. Start with Donkey Kong and see what registers it pokes, and implement those, and then just walk up the chain of games. I probably won't get to actually trying to run a game today, but maybe. Well, you never know. Not the way this is going so far, anyway. Expected WGPU native. Expected struct found tuple. Okay, so adapter request device is clearly returning a tuple, which probably those need to be mute, right? Yeah. High velocity. Perhaps 2 different versions of the creator are being used. Yeah, definitely 2 versions of the creator are being used. I don't know why. My hope is that this will become more interesting once I'm past all this GUI setup stuff. I did a little bit of pre-work on this to try to like figure out what I wanted to do and how, but clearly not enough. And I didn't want to like come in with a UI all ready to go because that would be against the spirit of the challenge. Although I suppose I could have just counted that time and done it off stream, but whatever. Okay, so yeah, we are compiling 2 different versions of native, but at least not of the regular one. Oh yeah, we are. Why is that happening? Stop doing that. Who pulled that in? And what will you win if you complete this challenge? There are no actual stakes. The traditional stakes are pizza. So maybe I will win pizza. Maybe not. Mostly I just want to do it because I think it would be fun. What did I end up deciding on for the GUI? I'm just going to use ImGUI on top of WinIt, and also this hardware accelerated frame buffer that I found from somebody I have generally worked nearby in the past. Yeah, don't make Psy any smugger. Absolutely. Although you have to hope that there's a maximum somewhere in terms of smugness. Was the challenge to stream it? Are you going to stream the entire process? The challenge was not to stream it. I just am doing that. I probably will stream the entire process, just because, why not? Okay, so what's going on right now is that I am accidentally pulling in 2 different versions of the web GPU crate. And it's because I think this one specifies version 030 and Pixels specifies a specific Git commit. So if I hack whoa, what the hell? Must have had caps lock on. If I hack Pixels to just do, should have posted on the sub too, better than the usual, help me fix my GBA mute. Yeah, that's an interesting point that I did not think of. Because frankly, I forgot there was a subreddit, even though, yes, that is how I found y'all in the first place. Is that what I had here? It's this one. Gotta run home for a while. We'll hopefully tune in again after a bit. Okay, sure, yeah. I didn't expect you to show up at all, so thanks for stopping by. Will you now only grab one version, please? That's fine, I forget about it too sometimes. Fix my 8086 code. Never. Actually, that's not true. Maybe if I do, I know, right? It's terrible. And it doesn't look like it may not even have worked doing the thing that I just did. I may have to change it again. This is something that a lot of people in the Rust community are like worried about because it's Node.js. I don't know. I don't really think it's that big of a deal, and I think people would care less if it compiled faster. Everyone goes on and on and on about security, but like, whatever, man. It does cache stuff, but I just blew the cache away because it was stale. Why are you still doing this? Ah! What else am I pulling in that doesn't like you? Let's see here. I'm pulling in Pixel. I'm pulling in WinIt. Alright, well, let's just go the other way then, I guess. And we'll just put that in there. See, it didn't rebuild there. I have to clean it and do it again. I don't know why that is the case. It feels like it shouldn't be, and maybe there's a better way to do this. Is Nick still here? I bet Nick knows. I hope y'all are doing something else other than just like watching my terminal scroll. How's my hair? I got a haircut yesterday. Cursing in an ARM manual. Yep, been there, buddy. Fabulous. Thanks, Phil. Boring 6502 stuff. Man, I can't wait to get to boring 6502 stuff. I don't understand why this keeps happening. Everybody should be using the same thing now, unless... Oh, no, okay, I see why. It's because I'm an idiot. I need to change this to point at... Yes, that is true. I mean, that's the thing about programming, which I think is why some people can't like handle it, is that it's always your fault. right? Like, or it's always somebody's fault. When you're writing it all by yourself, it's all your fault. Relative URL without a base. There is a way to do this. Cargo. Because they only do exactly what you tell it to do. Ugh, Git, why are you so bad? Okay. Well, in that case, so when I said I was an idiot, what I meant was that I changed the local cargo.toml to point at a different version of the dependency, but then I wasn't actually pointing at my local copy of the package. So of course, nothing changed. Which is also, by the way, why it wasn't caching dependencies. So now it should only rebuild the things that are important. Which is still 115 dependencies, so, you know, not that much better. All night writing an instruction table yesterday. That doesn't seem like that would take that long. Then again, Cargo works better than most C++ package managers. Yes, although a lot of that, I think, honestly, is just by virtue of being the choice. Like, there is no standard C++ package manager. So, like, what's happening? Expected lifetime parameter. Okay, I've made some mistakes in my life, clearly. Shouldn't be trying to do this. Whose lifetime parameter? I guess 2 hours. It was really late, though. Yeah, if there was only one C++ package manager, or like any standard C++ package manager, then people would be more motivated to improve it, I think. Doing 5 seconds of coding is really late. Yeah, there is some truth to that, honestly. Definitely been there. So I kept doing stupid fuck-ups I really shouldn't have. Yeah, I know what that's like. Witness literally this right now. I don't know why I had to make this so complicated, honestly. So why are you a lifetime, friend? You really shouldn't have a lifetime. It makes things much more difficult for me. I wonder if I could just slap one in there. Probably not, but let's give it a shot. Rust lifetimes are still magic. Yeah, me too. I wish they were not. wonder if I can just let it figure shit out on its own. Or require it to be static or something. Rust lifetimes are like backwards, like everything else. This is the thing about Rust. I really like Rust. It has a lot of really cool ideas, but every single choice that the language makes is the opposite of the choice that I would make in that situation. Like, Rust went for absolute language stability and just doesn't care about a stable ABI at all. I would have started with a stable ABI and I would have like absolutely changed the language a bunch of times by now. Fair. What if I just made you static? Probably not going to work. No, maybe. Surely it's undergone lots of language changes. Well, kind of. Not since 1.0. That's like the whole thing with Rust, is that they guarantee absolute stability. It changed a bunch before 1.0, like it had green threads at one point, which is a little bit bananas. I thought we all decided green threads were a bad idea in the 80s, but it does have shared pointer. Everything is shared pointer. We heard you like shared pointer, so we put a shared pointer in your shared pointer. RCRF LT. Template nightmares all over again. Yeah. What? Hashtag regrets. What are you talking about? Versions that meet the requirement star, but it's like right there. I gave you a different requirement. I don't understand. Oh, the package depends on WGPU with features. Right, but they got rid of features at some point. Ugh. I should really give up on this. Do something else instead, but is that gonna help? Okay, it's at least building more. Something's gonna be broken, of course. What I should probably do is drop pixels. If this doesn't work, I'm going to drop pixels and I'm just going to write it myself, because all I really need to do is touch WGPU enough to get a texture, and then I'm done, because MGUI can do all the other stuff. At least it alleges that it can do all the other stuff, and I will choose to believe it. Yeah, okay, that's what we're going to do. Get reset, hard head. RF pixels. Actually, no, let's not do that. Let's keep it around. Let's go back to my example. Get rid of the pixel stuff entirely. Don't return anything from main. Rid of pixels in front of all this junk. I guess I should just actually substitute this. Okay. This is not going to work, but that's okay, because I didn't use WGPU. Does the MGUI stuff export WGPU? Should I use theirs? I feel like probably. No, maybe not. Okay, fine. Whoa, okay. Right? Probably not a thing. Yeah, didn't think so. Okay, so that'll go away. And then surface not found in the scope. Yep, I'll just get rid of that. Add it back in later. Oh, and then we need to actually do this bit now because we didn't do it before. With the instance of WGPU, which makes more sense to me anyway. And then we need a surface. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong page again, obviously. And then surface, surface. Get rid of that. Fix it eventually. Use raw window handle. Raw has raw window handle. Do. Okay. Expected WGPU device found tuple. That makes sense to me. Expected struct winit window, found struct winit window. Cool. My favorite. Let's just steal this window directly. Okay, what the hell is your problem here? Okay, don't understand. Hmm. Well, this is uninteresting. Event loop doesn't have a size. What? Oh, because I don't have winit use. Okay, that was dumb. I don't know why I thought that was gonna help. I just don't understand what this means. Why would you expect window but find window? And GUI winit support. Okay, so I'm just gonna rip that off directly then. I must be using the wrong version. Post ZIF memes. I don't do that. Suppose I could. Whoa. Yeah, because I didn't delete that. Okay, that's excellent. No adapters found. That's making progress. So now we need to do this again. Boop. Add features Vulkan. Oh, hi, Lala. Didn't notice that was you. Hey, I got something. That's progress. I don't have any of the event loop stuff set up, so that's why nothing is displaying. Alright, so how far down did I get? instead of Dear MGUI. I got past Dear MGUI WGPU renderer, and then here's the event loop that I don't have. Okay, let's do that. Scoop-a-boop-a-boop. Event loop. Boop, boop. Right, and then the difference here is that I was returning size dot width as width and height instead of just returning a size. And these are both supposed to be size dots. And last frame is the one that I took out when I was copy pasting. It's going to be right here. Cannot assign to size as it is not declared mutable. Okay. Oh, okay. Interesting. Are you declaring it as mute? Yes, you are. All right, well, we'll just do that then. Who cares? Doo-ba-doo-doo. Hooray, Windows. All right, cool. So now I'm going to get rid of some stuff and also try to draw myself a frame buffer. Hello, cat. Other cat. Come on up. Say hi to the people. There you are. Hey, buddy. You're so fluff. He's a good cat. Okay. I don't really care about my mouse position. Screw that. Fluff ball. Yes, indeed. Actually, let me just go ahead and blow this window away entirely. Oh, that's the frame rate. I want to keep that one. I want to get rid of the other one. Ooh. Okay. Got ourselves a nice window. Now, how do we draw an image with MGUI? If I remember correctly, there's like MGUI image is the thing that I want. Cat, why are you sitting on my lap? Texture image, MGUI image. Okay, so that's what we need is MGUI image. And in order to do that, we need a texture, which in WGPU, we need to figure out how to do a texture, which the cube hopefully will tell us how to do. Vertex, cat, come on, stop it. Ah. There's got to be like a WGPU tutorial somewhere. Do 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 do. Okay, so here's a handle to a texture. How do I get one? Cat, would you please? Ah! There we go. Okay, good boy. Sit here, don't sit on my keyboard anymore. View of a texture. Create a texture is a method on device, which I have. So I should be able to just create a texture pretty easily. Create texture takes a texture descriptor. Oops, can't spell. Which is just like a thing that exists apparently. How do you do that then? Very confused. Okay, so I created a swap chain. What can I do with a swap chain? Exactly. Get next texture. But I bet there is no texture. Very confused. Let's see if this just works. Probably not. Expected one parameter. Okay. It's not going to work. Expected reference. Texture descriptor. Borrow that. Okay, you're missing array layer count, dimension, format, and 4 other fields. Alright, so if we look at the example, oh, cat, please stop. Right, okay. Texture. You cannot sit on my fucking keyboard. Here. Sit on the cat chair. There you go. Stay there. Hey, this is exactly what I want, more or less. Let's just do that. Oop. What time is it? Okay, it's been like an hour. A little more. Okay, and then And this one does texture extent. Just right here. Oop. Wait, what? Oh, okay. I've got this in here twice for some reason. Okay, and then I don't close it for some reason. Okay, no adapters found because I forgot to pass feature Vulkan. Alright, well, it didn't explode, so that's good. I think I probably am going to need some texels, huh? So then you create a view, create a mapped buffer, copy source apparently, and then you fill from slice texels. And then init encoder copy buffer to texture buffer copy view. Texture copy view, texture extent. Okay. I guess that makes sense. So what does create texels do? Probably just literally, yeah, okay. Oops, god damn it. So that's our screen, right? Which is fine. We did a create texture. So let me put the screen back in real quick. Oh, I've got a screen. Okay, there you go. We're just doing that, and then RGBA 8 unorm sRGB. Hopefully that's correct. Seems like it would be. So now we want to create the texture view and map the buffer, and then just do the copy. So this is all basically going to be the same, I think. And I think init encoder is going to be something I don't have, which is command encoder. Let's do that. It's true. There's no ASCII art Zix means, as far as I know. Okay, so that built, but we still can't see anything. Make this green, it's the most obnoxious color. And then, now that we've done all of that junk, we need to actually draw the texture somewhere. Right, because we filled it. now hopefully if we draw it as a GUI UI dot image, expected to parameters, use image new instead. Okay, I can do that. Expected to parameters. Okay, where's the docs for anything ever that exists in the world? I mean, this is just going to be a binder over the top of the original, so that's really where I should be looking, even though it doesn't have any docs either. Image gets a texture and I guess a size. Is that right? It's for sure not going to work. Expected texture ID found WGPU texture. Okay, how do you get a texture ID? My text ID. It's just storage for whatever you want it to be. They will all have comments to specify what they expect to be stored. Okay, so is there anything useful in the docs for examples? Source. Upload font texture is texture ID. So create the texture, upload the data to a buffer, did that, make sure we have an active encoder, did that, schedule copy from the buffer to the texture, did that, resolve the actual copy process, self.textures.insert texture. What? Okay, what is self.textures? It's in the renderer, textures, texture has a bind group, texture new, a new image GUI texture from a random WGPU texture. So that's exactly what we want. So do I have like a renderer? I do, right? Yep. Okay. So this is going to be renderer. Oh no, that's not right. It's gonna be GUI WGPU texture new texture. Is that gonna work? I don't have a bind group layout, I don't think. So I probably should. Texture is private. Oh, come on. So renderer is public and only new shit. So that's render. Nice, sure. Render a draw list. Update the uniform buffer. Upload some buffers and shit. Reload a font texture. And that's it. Alright, this is deeply not worth it. Alright, well, not looking good so far. 2 hours in, haven't successfully drawn a window that contains text, or frame buffer rather. But I'm going to take a little break. I'll be back in, I don't know, hour and a half or so. Going to do some reading, try to figure out like a better way to do this, because obviously screwing around with WebGPU is not like helpful. So I'm going to use probably Glium instead, even though I didn't really want to use OpenGL, but whatever. Deal with it. And I'll be back in an hour or so. Thanks for stopping by, everybody. I appreciate it. Sorry it wasn't more interesting. Just kind of slammed my head against stuff for a little while. Hopefully next time we'll actually make a little bit of progress.